Insert rumble pack now. Our graphics are pretty good in this one. I'm impressed. I spoke too soon. They lag pretty badly. Why is this game always so damn dark? I'm looking at my stream layout right now. It's so dark. What is it about N64 games and brightness? It's so dark. Oh well. Alright, after this race, I can turn the gamma up, but then it looks like, I don't know, it's like a constant battle with these games. Like, I have a filter that I can turn the gamma up, but sometimes when I watch back the VODs, I'm like, damn, it looks so oversaturated now. Like, there's just no middle ground. There's no, can it be a little bit bright so that it's actually visible, but at the same time, it's like, can it not, like, wash out all the colors and have this weird, like, red hue about it as well? Alright, I mean, that's better, I guess. But it still looks like crap. Because, yeah, now it's a little washed out. N64 games are made with the intention of emulating the Game Boy No backlight experience. That's too true, Captain. Like, I have the brightness on my TV cranked up all the way, and it doesn't look that bad. Like, with like, the TV brightness, it's okay, but in OBS... like, I don't know. Like, I haven't messed with it too much, because every game's a little bit different, which is annoying. And much, like, because, I don't know. Like, we play so many of these trash games that, and most of the time I'm just, like, throwing it together last minute. But I probably would get more, it would look better if I like customize the filter for each one, but yeah, IDK. They all look okay on my TV when I turn the brightness up to max, but I just can't get I can't get the equivalent of that in OBS, like a general one size fits all. Well, this one looks okay-ish, but I don't know. I used to do it more often, adjusting the gamma, like putting that filter on almost everything that I capture on N64, and then Then I kind of like watched back a few VODs a bit to see like just get some feedback on how audio's been for some of these races and stuff. No, I felt like the Donkey Kong 64 one, especially when I watched part of that back for highlighting it. Was not satisfied that I put the filter on it because at some sections it just looked so washed out that I felt that it would just been better to keep it a little bit dark. And it seems like Nintendo first-party games don't have as much of an issue with brightness as the third-party ones have. Looks better than darkness. Yeah, this one's definitely an improvement. This is for the best. But some other games, it's hard to find something I'm happy with. And like different scenes as well, because when I looked at it, like when I was playing and looking over on OBS during N64, DK64, it looked alright. But then when I watched back portions of the VOD, another thing it could be is like my side monitor has its own like brightness quality to it as well. Different from my primary monitor, so you know, there's also like a monitor kind of thing. Looks good on one monitor, but not another monitor, and I'm thinking to myself, well, which should I prioritize? Have you started the anime binge at all, Captain? Yet said you're gonna binge on this season. Because I started watching Rent-A-Girlfriend. It wasn't what I was expecting, to be honest. But it still was kind of pretty good. And I think if you need like your trashy anime for the season, that one might fit the bill pretty well. From what I've seen so far, I've only seen the first 3 episodes, but it was one of those shows where I was like, okay, I'm gonna just watch the first episode of this before I go to bed, and then it turned into 3 episodes. I'm like, man, I gotta stop now, which is a good thing for anime. Like any anime that makes you want to watch more episodes than you plan to is a sign of you're enjoying it quite a bit. I don't know if part of it was like a train wreck, can't look away kind of thing. The main character is the worst part of the show, but like every one of those trashy horror-ish shows has to have an absolutely like just you want to smack him MC because he's such a douchebag. Trash. What was the name? Rent-A-Girlfriend. It's also it's sometimes referred to as its Japanese name, Kanojo Okari Shimasu or something. Definitely seems well. I mean, it's like a funny trashy show. It's not like an ecchi. It's not an ecchi. I mean, there's also plenty of ecchi this season, like that Peter Grill that I haven't watched yet. The Dorku XX Arrow, I checked that one out and I did not like it because there's no uncensored version. So it's like ecchi, but like every scene is edited. It's like, what's the point? The plot was horrible, and then the plot in quotation marks was all censored as well. So it's like, who cares? Peter Grill might be good, but no, this is not an ecchi. It's just like a trashy. I don't know. I don't quite know if it's going to turn into a harem yet. I would say imagine. I don't know. I don't quite know how to summarize it with like a conglomeration of different shows previously. It definitely has a bit of uniqueness to it, so that makes it stand out. But it certainly fits into that trashy show of the season, like a mild guilty pleasure. I do enjoy the main girl very much, Chizuru, especially when she gets out her non-Rent-A-Girlfriend side. Like, the premise is very weird. And it's also very forced. You know, like, not quite as bad as gamers misunderstanding levels of forced, but there's a lot of just like, we want to build the plot in a certain way, so we're just going to force all of these coincidences or the kind of like unreasonable character personalities. But no, it's certainly enjoyable, at least what I've seen so far. Definitely scratches a bit of a guilty pleasure itch, too. Put it on the list. Watch God of High School. Been a while since Shonen. Not impressed. Yeah, it seems like that is like every season has the, well, this is the shonen that everyone's watching show. Every season has the shonen that everybody talks about. And I've definitely heard people talk about that one, but I can't. It takes a lot for me to get into shonen. Oh wow. I enjoyed, I feel like the last shonen I watched was Mob Psycho. I only watched the first season. I would watch the second season. Mob Psycho was okay for me. I hardly ever watch shonen though. Well, I mean, I watch like slice of life shonen. Like technically, like say Tokai Yakuin Domo. I don't know. For all I know, Kanojo Okada Shimas or whatever also gets the shonen label, but I feel like the shonen label is fairly meaningless for things that aren't like battle shonen. Sometimes you look up a show on Mall and it'll just be like, you know, like comedy, romance, school, and they'll just have shonen after it on the tag list. And I feel like the shonen tag is kind of meaningless unless it's like the textbook cliche like battle shonen, like My Hero Academia, Mob Psycho kind of stuff. So let's see. So this season so far I've checked out was the well, this I like the Rent a Girlfriend probably isn't a shonen because the main character is in college, and I think if the protagonist is not in like high school or middle school, like disqualifies it as a shonen, right? More or less. So there's that. I just started that one. I'm watching the Usaki-chan, which is also, that one's really funny. I think that the comedy in that show is pretty well done. It's like the two main characters, just very likable personalities, all at the same time kind of being like niche. So, well, wow, this is a hard turn. Oh, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad because it's dark. It's a little dark for me even. I'm sure it's reflected on stream too. It's dark for me and there's like stuff coming at me. Like that. Rent a Girlfriend, Usaki-chan. Relight Lapis or whatever it's called, which is kind of like a very generic fantasy, although it's not isekai, it's just kind of fantasy, but not very high on the fantasy aspect other than there's magic. Girls, like cute girls doing cute things at school. It's been a comfy watch. It's not remarkable at all, but it's a comfy watch. I've been enjoying that. I feel like there's another show that I've been watching as well, but I can't think of it. That's good because I haven't really been into seasonal anime for the last couple seasons. Just I don't know if I just like didn't quite get into any of the shows I tried, or if I just kind of needed a break, or a combination of both. I have been watching some more older stuff though. I've been watching watched a couple episodes of Sailor Moon. I watched Saki since I've been playing Mahjong. That's a good watch. Combination of currently airing stuff and catching up on a bit of the backlog. Been good for motivation. watching Mr. Love Queen's Choice, which is basically reverse harem type show. It wasn't terrible enough to drop. Bum, 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 bum. So I did a bit of a sneaky. I was the hammer to ready up, and I'm not in the call. So I just I quickly readied up. After a bit of there was maybe like 5 minutes between the person who last readied up and me. Maybe I caught some people off guard, and I could just be like, "Oops, Tehepedo, sorry, wasn't in the call. Didn't know you were really ready." Get a little extra advantage. SG4 use cheats. I watched 3 shows so far. I think maybe another issue is I had. I try to watch too much stuff every season. I think I need to limit my stuff that I watch. Just pick. I think another thing I used to do is shows I watched 9 episodes of the Oreski show, and I think I just need to be better at dropping shows, because I think if you have too many this is just my experience. I think it's part of the reason why I kind of took a while where I was not watching as much seasonal anime is if you have too many shows that are just passable. And I think that show is a perfect example of it. The Oreski is passable. It's it's a great summary of it. The Henski as well is borderline passable. I had only seen 4 episodes of that, but I hadn't watched 9 of the Oreski one until I was like, you know what, this show's not any good. I'm just not going to finish it, even though I've only got 3 or 4 episodes left. And I think if you have shows like that that you're watching in a season, it kind of for me, every night is a choice between, do I find someone to watch on Twitch or do I watch some anime? And usually it's a mix of both, but if the shows are kind of that caliber where they're just passable, I find myself not tuning away from whoever I'm watching on Twitch to watch anime before I go to bed or whatever. I just end up continuing watching whatever stream I'm watching, because it's well, this is still more entertaining than that trash anime show. So yeah, I need to get better at just dropping shows. Dark SG, IDK. They were pretty bad. Oreski could have been better, but then it just decided to be, I don't know, the animation was a bit weird. It was hard to care about the characters. I think Captain talked about this as well. The first couple episodes, it tries to tell you okay, this is a harem, but it's gonna have a trash MC. It's hard to describe, but yeah, it's maybe gonna be a harem, but the MC is trash on the inside. But then it just became a very generic harem, and I just couldn't care about the characters too much. Panji was okay. I really disliked the baseball player and the weird cult of personality that he had, as well as like so many people treat the MC like trash, and he like treats himself like trash on the inside, as well as he has a bunch of negative feelings towards everybody on the inside. But externally, he tries to be like super nice. And what was refreshing was with the Panji character, that was sort of like his like other half or whatever. Like she was kind of the same way, and like externally she tried to be like this reserved or whatever, but on the inside she was pretty trash, just like him. So that was a good demographic between those two. I would have liked to just see more of them all the time, but I couldn't care about the baseball player friend. I couldn't care about like the student council president. The arc with the newspaper girl was just like that was like, all right. That was when it solidified in my head that this show is no good. Started off he wasn't in the harem, then he was actually, so it was like, well, yeah, that's right. At the start, it was like he was gonna be the matchmaker for the baseball player. So at least it was like different, and yeah, like that had like a little bit of potential. Like we could have gotten a bit more diversity in the story plot than what it turned out to be. Man, why was that guy in that position? I only watched 4 episodes of Hensky. It felt generic. I don't know if I felt like the show was bad. It just didn't quite pull me in. I don't know. I didn't feel like I watched enough of it just to have a strong opinion of that show, but like it felt like every episode was going to be like, okay, here's the other girl, and here's the one-shot story with her, who just is like the same extreme different, like say like extreme personality, but with like a different like fetish or whatever. Rinse and repeat for 12 episodes. Like probably around the halfway mark, it's saturated with all the characters that they're gonna want, and then they try to start having interactions with them. But I only made it episode 4. Wasn't any good. Rip. Rip, rip, rip. Well, that's dumb. It just, what does that, go straight to a wall? Wrong way, Tehepero. I remember vague things about Oriski. Hensky is almost blank. Yeah, I know that feel. I feel like there was another show not too long ago that I have that feeling about. Oh, like plenty of isekai. Like, I watched all of, I was 2 seasons ago, I think it was, it had a weird title. It had obviously had a light novel title. I wanted, I thought I said to make my abilities average or whatever. I think that was the name. I thought I said to make my abilities average. It was an isekai about a girl who gets reincarnated, but when in the cliche incarnation phase where she talks to God, she says, I just want to be completely average, but it's like one of those like wish caveat things where in the isekai there's like super powerful dragons and humans are pretty weak comparatively. So average, like the middle line for average is she's still like a superhuman, but compared to all of the magical creatures in that world, she's still technically average. But it was an isekai about like a band of cute girls, but it just goes kind of all over the place. And I did watch all of it, but it's yeah, it's like one of those you don't remember much of. There's quite a few shows like that where if you asked me to tell you, if I'd even seen all 12 episodes, you asked me to tell you the plot synopsis, I wouldn't be able to. Skip that one, it wasn't that great. I know a Princess Connect Redive was really popular last year. I watched the first episode of that, but it just felt so samey. I think I'm finally burned out on isekai. There's isekai that I liked. As cliche and sort of like dumb. Oh, I also watched Enduro. Enduro was very generic. But an isekai that was like generic and very tropey, but I still kind of enjoyed was the In Another World with My Smartphone. I liked the characters in that one. I'd say the MC was, in spite of the whole show being very cliche and tropey, the MC was still kind of likable. It's saying a lot about isekai MC. Live in the Bay Area, never seen those speed boosts on the road before. Well, that's because this is 2049 Rio, so we're still 29 years away. They're putting the legislation in now. They're starting to raise the taxpayer funds for those. Check back in. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just getting caught up on chat. You never burn out on isekai. Apparently in Japan, you're not. It still sells pretty well. Like, what is there? There's like 8 different Sword Art Online anime. I'm even kind of burnt out on fantasy. I like that blow up right at the end. My buddy feels the same way about the smartphone show. Didn't love it, but enjoyed his time with it. Yeah, I liked the characters. Like, I think maybe the make or break with isekai, especially like the vanilla isekai that we typically get now, copycat isekai. Like we gotta have at least 5 isekai shows this season. It's like the new requirement. I think it just comes down to, because the plots are going to all be very similar as far as how they're developed and things. I think it just comes down to how do you feel about the characters and their personalities. And for some reason I just liked all the characters in that one. I still need to finish the so your mom has 2 sword attack as her normal attack. I do need to. I liked that one when I was watching it, but then we heard the Blu-ray was going to get a rework. I was like, okay, I'm waiting for the Blu-ray then. Like that's a good example. I feel like, because from what I've seen of it, which is only like the first 3 or 4 episodes, very isekai tropey. But then it's got this weird thing going on with the mom character and the son character, then the like harem characters who are coming along for the ride, And that just made it stand out for me. Like that's all you need. You just need some character dynamic that you enjoy to make the isekai enjoyable. But if you don't, if none of the characters or their personalities resonate with you, then it's gonna feel like any other isekai that you watched, and you're probably not gonna want to keep watching it. I mean, that's true of most shows, though. I don't know if that's. It feels like it's most pronounced when deciding if you're gonna keep watching an isekai or not. But you could say that about any show. Like, if the characters don't resonate with you, you're not going to enjoy it. For the most part. I mean, some shows are designed about having not likable characters. To some extent, Scum's Wish is meant to be you're supposed to, like, find it hard to relate with the characters, and even go as far to say just find them detestable. But I enjoyed that show a lot. Imagine getting burnt out on trash anime. Can never get enough trash anime. It just needs to have a good trash factor. Like, if you're gonna make a trash anime, you've got to go full trash. You can't like hedge your bet. You can't be like trash anime, but like lacking on the fan service, or trash anime and it's like still completely censored. Gotta go the distance to make a good trash anime. I actually have a chance to be in first. Daddy? Rip my first place. Well, my car doesn't have the greatest top speed, so maybe that's it might be hard to catch up to this guy. Okay, I'm in first. Good thing you never have to finish in first in any of these rush games. Ah, come on. Oh, I almost. Oh, that sucks. Oh well, I tried. Almost edged him out. One race to go. I'm gonna pre-type my dot done. First season of Haikyuu, sports anime. Never really interest me, but you enjoyed it. Heard good things about it though. It's really hard for me to get into sports anime for some reason. Even Keijo, which should be like an anime complete. Like if there was ever a sports anime to appeal to SG4E, it's like it would be Keijo. And I did watch all of it, but I found it pretty average. But I think what Keijo needed is it needed to go full trash, and it didn't. Were the jets required? Yeah, it gives you that sense of I don't know what the jets are supposed to, how that's supposed to make you feel futuristic, but they certainly do their job. Forehead. Got my first collectible. Like the manga apparently for Keijo adds some more detail to the like tournament scenes and stuff and the battles. Some detail that would be appreciated by the Keijo fans, but the anime like stepped back from doing that for some reason. I'm sucking right here. Suck. I can't even. I don't know what the issue is here. I think the monitor I play on is pretty big. So sometimes when you play these old N64 games that have like the graphics like they are, when they're kind of blown up as big as they are now, like you actually lose some perspective of what's supposed to look like. Is that a turn? Because the detail in the distance is pretty bad. You kind of need it smaller. It's like, it's like one of those. Like whenever you see someone that like made an image and they blew it up too big and you're looking at it really close, you have no idea what it is. But you have to zoom out before you have any perspective. Sometimes I feel that with N64 games. Because I don't really have a good way to get... where I play my games is like my home office. This is like... it's pretty much like a multi-purpose room, this one. But like I've got a combination of like game consoles and like an assortment of other things all over my desk. Well, basically, there's like no free space here, and I'm not very good at getting this place organized. So I couldn't, if I wanted to even put like a CRT or a smaller monitor here, I don't even know where I'd find the space for it. So I'll just blame my equipment. It's not SG4E's fault that he's playing bad. I'll just blame his equipment. Getting GBA'd. Bum bum bum. I know GDQ's doing Final Fantasy VII Remake speedrun tonight. Probably check some of that out. It's like 6 hours, which I'm curious how much of it is broken. Probably like not any. I watched several streams of that back when it first came out. It was a pretty comfy watch. Always enjoy the overnight GDQ RPG special. Seems like that's becoming a tradition, or at least a reoccurring thing at GDQ, and I like to see that a lot. I like that one day a week where you just get that overnight RPG comfiness. So Limit Break said they were doing an online marathon as well, right? Or did they say to be determined when they canceled the in-person event? I forget what the final verdict on that was. They might, okay. Still in the maybe phase. Well, it's a shame, like there's nothing you can do. The GDQ watching it this week, I found myself like the least engaged I've been in it for any GDQ. The fact that it's not in person is a downer. Like, but there's nothing you can do about that, and it's fine. It's still been fun to watch when I have watched it. Look at me zoning this guy out here. Bum 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 bum. Bum bum. It's the last lap. Where's the finish line, man? Finished in 3rd place. Shoot, I just missed 3rd place in the game, too. Wow, Tapio got 1st. 4th, just outside.